Hey everybody, how's everyone's Good Friday going so far? See, there's already a conversation in the chat here, though. It's about some game, doesn't matter. Not the real game of the day. Hello, Red, welcome. Welcome, Baby Shark, Nick, Sandwich, Red. Nice to see you all. Yeah, how is everybody's Good Friday? Anyone have any special plans? It's been a while, TBH. Yeah, I haven't seen you around too much other than in the Pokecord chat. You and your Pokemon. But I can stream to my TV, so it's great. Nice, nice. Hey Carson, it has indeed been a good Friday. Glad to hear it. Been fine for myself, but this stupid work day is slow. Well, I'm sorry you have to work on Good Friday. Sorry to everyone who works on Good Friday. Been hiding... Oh, welcome, Ton, or Bool. Been hiding Easter eggs upon my ass, telling kids if they find it in their... Find it, they're in for a treat. Okay, yikes. It's not too bad because you work from home, but I'm bored. I think a lot of people feel that way right now. Yeah, I've been working from home as well, and I was pretty happy to realize today was Good Friday and I didn't have to work. I had to do the work that's fun. So, on the game, since the stream, I've been working on the behind-the-scenes stuff needed to support customization, because so far the reason everyone's bald, male, white, no hair color, any of that, was that there's no actual data saving about any of that. Like, none of that is stored. So now, if we start a brand new character on Tutorial Island, it will randomize a person for the starting point. Wow. So I got a person with some blushy... these are not the final sprites. This is my placeholders while Francisco does the real stuff, but we defaulted. But it should open up to this screen in the future, or the equivalent one, and we've been adding support for all these things. So as you saw, blush was in there, so we actually have support for the beards now. Different eye colors are actually split apart. So that's what we're going to be continuing on today. Well, let me just catch up here. Probably doesn't help that we're currently working to move to a bigger office, so there's little work from home stuff. You can try to grind poison shard, get hair that way. You got a Joker. We do live in a society, don't we? Yeah, the person did look like the Joker, didn't he? Makeup on, lipstick, green hair. It was truly random, honestly. So, obviously there's some layout stuff that still needs to be there, but now, when we toggle between the skin colors, it updates there. The different hairstyles does it as well. It updates everywhere. Same with red hair. Let's go with that. With some cool earrings. This new monitor, I've totally changed my layout, and I just realized how far away the monitor is. I can't see the eye color stuff, but I know it's working. So yeah, that's where we are at. So next, well, there's some tweaking to do here, but what I really want to do is I want to make these top two, everything up here, I want to render an entire body, so you see the whole body when you're changing between skin tones, gender, and then when you decide on your greeting and your different emotes here, it'll actually play the animation. So you click on this wave emote and the guy will do the wave that you're selecting. There's 3 constants in the light, Katie. Grocery shopping, taxes, and God, apparently. 3 constants in life. Oh yeah, grocery shopping, taxes, and God. Can't not do a stream during the week. Can't not do Sunday, even when it's Easter Sunday. Which might have some hours changed. I should probably preface that. Sunday's probably not going to be an all-day long stream, but might be like a 2 to 3 hour long one. Or maybe I'll just start it really way earlier, because I'll be on earlier in the day. I usually just wait to start it and do other stuff first. But yeah, we can't stop the GOG, can't stop the taxes, can't stop the groceries. Let's go with that hair. Oh yeah, so other stuff we have to do today though is this confirm button doesn't do anything. It actually breaks the person. So the two things we have to do there is one, we need to make the confirm change the data such that I can relog and the person is who we changed it to. And then after that, we need to figure out why this is just totally destroying the person. Yeah. That's amazing yet terrifying. Oh yeah. It definitely messes with it. I have no clue why this guy does that. Truthfully though, it's because I know that it might just go away by me doing it properly, because right now, just to shortcut some stuff here, when you first go to the screen and you see this guy rendered here, I actually take your person, set the data, call render to build a sprite, and then I set it back to what it was. So when you're in here, you're manipulating your guy, but you're not sending the data to the server that you're doing it, so no one else knows you're in the middle of changing him. So I need to probably make a copy and make this whole thing not destroy the original person. Because that's definitely what's going on, is we just totally change all the data, press confirm, and things aren't even piped through, and somewhere down the line things got a little mucky. So yeah. And then Francisco has made the woman's sprites, but he did it before we added the skin tones on the dude, so I believe that he needs to also make the various skin tones on women. And after that, we have this trick we're trying so that about making outlines for curves that overlay on top of the person, so that we can have the same shirt go on guys and girls, and the shirt will be the same in both, but it's the overlaying outline that kind of makes it look like there's different figures between the body types. So hopefully that looks good. If it doesn't, we're gonna have to duplicate everything for women, which will suck. So I'm really hopeful that this overlay works. Yeah, the torso, we gotta fix these torsos. None of this stuff is good. Like, I was working on it last stream, and then once the stream was over, I decided that this was actually bottom priority, because this is just really selecting a shirt. Like, I don't mean to be lazy. It would be nice to pick the shirts, but if it really comes to it, we could easily just make it so when you press confirm, it's more like continue, and the next dialogue is the shirt dialogue we all know and love, and you just start with gold in your inventory to buy the shirts and pants that you want. So we don't actually need it. I'm kind of duplicating work here, but I think it'll be cool, so we're going to keep trying. Yeah, so I guess next, let's make these guys full renders of the people. I guess we don't actually need to do that, now that I say that. We do need to for gender, because the head might actually have no differences between guys and girls. You know, it'll affect hair and stuff. Like, we're going to have hairstyles for both. But heads don't. But I guess this part can stay heads. So let's just center these first, because right now they're kind of going off the side, and that is not proper. Oh, also from a design point of view, Jagger and I have been chatting, and this is gonna change, but just to give you guys an idea of how it's gonna be changing. Actually, why am I doing it this way? Yeah, whatever. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. So it's going to change. We need to make this preview a lot bigger. It's right now way too small. We want it to essentially probably go in the middle here, actually, like as a center middle panel that spans the top two rows. And then skin tones would be to one side, gender would be to the other side. If there's extra room, then we might add something like eye color up here as well. Maybe. So we're just going to realign all this stuff. And these emote picking things, right now they're just placeholders, but I could get rid of them to make room. We don't really need it. That's kind of me scope creeping this whole dialogue. You could just start with one. That's probably a better idea. Anyway, let's get to it. So let's start by figuring out why these are so off. because when we have the scrollable versions with the buttons, it's a little too far to the right, but it's really not much. But then these button versions are way too, like, big. Carson, maybe rather than having heads under gender, you can have different symbols people can identify as for messaging / communication purposes. That's a good way to do it. That's probably a way better way to do it. Because right now, the only difference between men and women will be the actual body. So it's really, yeah, you're right. I have no clue how to showcase that with heads. So yeah, maybe it's just like the male-female symbol, and we just get rid of the word gender, and then it's just like you pick guy, girl, and it'll just change the figure, just updates. I like that. Good call. We'll do that. All right, let's first start by centering this. I need to get some sprites made for that, but I can just make some temporary ones. That's totally fine. Yeah. So let's get to the coding. Does anybody have any fun plans this evening? I understand that a lot of people probably can't go visit their families right now, but hopefully people have something fun planned. So load appearance option. So this is when we're loading one appearance option. If the type is button, where do we do that? So if it's a button, we go into this code. Here we overshot how much to the left we go. So that might be all it is. Let's take a look at that. I was putting the full padding on the left, but I think I only need to do half, because it's like the padding is the space between each item, so there's no reason to have the full space off the bat. Still way too far to the right. It's moving to the right almost as if it has one of these buttons, even though it doesn't, which is really interesting. So option balance. Oh yeah, how is the music levels and the audio levels? I feel like you guys can't even hear the music because I can't even hear it. I just don't want it louder than me. In my new setup, the mic is a lot further than it used to be, so I have no clue if it's okay. Okay, so the bounds seems good to you. Okay, thanks, Bool. You sound fine. The music isn't louder than my RuneScape playing, though. Okay. I'll turn it up a tiny bit. Okay. Hopefully that is an alright level. That's good? Okay, cool. Alright, so why is this padding so far to the left? Or why is it offset so far to the right? So it has to be this line here, because this is the line when we're in the button case and we are trying to move it. So it must be that this padding is way bigger than I think it is. How big is the padding? If we go take a look, it's the space between, and I'm cutting it in half, but I probably don't even, I guess it's that I don't want to include that padding, and the space between needs to take more advantage of that. So yeah, let's not include it. Let's just add the default 16 pixel padding that I'm trying to get. And yeah, let's just see how that looks. Open UI. Still way too far over to the right. It's so weird. And I guess we can just test it by getting rid of this line, and if it's still too far to the right, we know that something else is off. Oh, it's probably item width. I'm trying to draw ahead, but I planned for it to be the width of like a fully drawn person, which would be wider. So yeah, that's probably what's going on. Is that this item width is a little ridiculous in the appearance data. So let's just agree that that sticks to just being like a head, right? Like we don't actually need to render the full person when we're just changing tones. The face is probably enough. So let's put it there. So if we make that 24, that'll like shrink how much room this actually uses. Gender could be the same way. We'll change that too. And now let's go back and undo what we were just doing. Where did I comment out the width? Or the left? Update option. Oh, I put it back, but let's change this back to item padding over 2, because that is closer to what we were looking for. This was not the issue. Alright, let's take a look. I'm so excited for this to happen, and I'm trying to make this dialogue really reusable. That's part of why I'm putting so much effort into making it all dynamic, is because I want this to be the type of dialogue that you see when you go to a wizard that'll change your character's gender, or if you go to a hairstylist and you want to look at all the different haircuts, and maybe this stylist has options that don't exist right now. Like I want these, like this dialogue to be this all-purpose thing that I can reuse. So I'm putting more effort than I probably should into just making that happen. So that spacing wise looks a lot better. I think this padding could actually be full. I cut it in half, but it definitely looks like the first attempt was better. So that'll be good. I agree, making these two different gender icons is going to be way nicer. That'll be easy. So let's center those a little better too. Oh, those will get centered once I save. So now the real question is, why are they at different heights? Is it the type of control they are? Control type button, control type button. It's because of the widths, isn't it? Somehow the width affects the height, and that's probably not what it should be. So let's take a look at that. So item width goes all the way through. Do we ever use it for height? That's a width thing. Width. Bounds height right there. Oh, but we use padding, and padding is based on width to figure out the height. Okay, there we go. Now I found it. So it's this line I want to change. Why are we using the width as padding to figure out the height? It shouldn't. Really, the height should just be the center of the area, but a little bit lower to make room for the text up top. So I think I don't want any of this, really. I want to say that our starting Y position we draw an item at is at the top plus half of the height, put it down into the middle. And then now that it's in the middle, we just want to go a little bit lower to offset the text up top. So this is going to affect like everything. So everything's row like height is going to be a little off, but it should be consistent across everything. And that's what I'm going for. Yeah, so it's a consistent height now. This is starting too far to the left, and this one's starting too far to the right. Lovely. So let's see. So we go back to the button case here. There are 6 buttons. There is a limit of 6 different buttons that we will draw, which is the case here, but we only have 2 there. So the padding. So I use that 6 when I come up with how much padding there should be. That's definitely not what I want. I should be saying... I should be checking how many IDs there are to check. And it should be the math max. So we get the maximum value between... Or no, the minimum value between 6 and the amount of IDs to pick from, which is basically how many buttons we want to show. So now instead of it always being 6, it'll be 6 for the skin because that has 6 or more, and then 2 for the genders because we don't have a ton of different options at this point. So item padding, we take the width, we decide that we have 2 guys or 2 different sprites times the width, and we subtract it, so this would give us our remaining width to play with, and then we divide that by how many we want. Okay, let's take a look again. I think now I think this will be better. I always say that. There's just one more piece of the math that we have to do. Okay, open UI. So here it's too far to the left, but over here it's too far to the right. I can't make this happy. Why? Why? Whatever, at least it's in its range. We can always tweak the numbers later. Alright, so next let's make this bigger. Like, let's rearrange these top 2 rows. Let's ignore my whole wanting to let you choose emotes for now. I'll get rid of that row. We'll just make you start with starter emotes and unlock the others. There's no reason to let you customize that. I'd much rather that you get that customization from the first few quests anyway. That'd be nice. So we'll get rid of that row. We'll make the rendering here take up a lot more height, like take up 2, and then everything else will just kind of fall up. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Okay, let's go to appearance. Let's get rid of my rows about the greeting fun taunt. And I need to add a concept that's like row span. I don't have that right now. But definitely should. Let's take a look. So now this should have just given a lot more height for everything to play with, so hopefully things are a little more spacious, not as cramped. Yeah, that is a lot more spacious. Pants, I want to not take up the full width. There's way too many here. Stuff looks a little weird. I want to swap gender and skin tone. It kind of feels shoved off to the right when I think it should be the other way around. It's the first thing you pick. This comes second. So let's save that, see how that looks, and then we'll add row spanning. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah, let's make it this guy twice as tall. So let's just add a thing, row span 2. Then when we figure out a options bounds, because the bounds comes from the options, we already calculated that earlier when we did it all in one go. So here we're gonna have to double the height for things with 2 row spans. So yeah, so here we have to add some logic. So claimed width, panel bounds. How do I do this? So you pass in the appearance options. Okay, there we go. I see. So this option here is where we can say row span is this dot row span, and if that's not defined, just make it 1. So when we figure out the height, we look at the height. Yeah, when we figure out our height, we essentially say if row span is bigger than 1, then we have to recalculate this. So how do we want to do that? So if our row span is bigger than 0, then we take our results height and we add to it. No, we'll set it. We'll change it. So we set it to 3 times row span, and then we have to plus the padding between each row times the row span as well. So where do we get the padding? So this gets bounds. Padding is just this dot padding, I'm guessing. Where do we set our row? Top offset? Yeah, this dot padding. So now it knows that it's at the same top left, but it knows to slightly more than double its height to take up the row beneath it. So let's take a look at how this looks, except this is now going to overlap with the one below it because the one below it doesn't acknowledge it needs to be shifted over. Let's just confirm that's where we're at. Open UI. No. Really? Okay, so row span, appearance, row span. Okay. Oh, I set it to 1, 2. There we go. Let's see if it doubles now. UI. There we go. So it's taking up twice as much room, yet the guy is still just sitting there. Like, you know, he's in the center, but bleh. So we need to move over this row so that it acknowledges its new, smaller space. And then after that, we are going to want to make the guy take up a lot more space because now he has twice as much height to play with, so we can just double his size in there. It'll be a lot easier to see. There's too much room up here though, which is kind of funny. Maybe on the top row I could pick like the emotes, but just not fully render them. Just have like names and the click between them. I don't know. Let's not think about that yet. Or I could fit small renders in here. Okay, let's start by making this move over though. So we need to update this get panel bounds method to acknowledge whether the thing above it has spanned into its row and kind of taken up a column. So we basically need to say where do we do the column? So if I is column, bleh. Where do we set our left? So here's our left till we move over with the columns. Okay, yeah, so here we basically need to figure out first, did something else budge in? And if so, how much do we offset by? So we'll just put here claimed left, which is 0, and claimed width, which is 0. So we have to go through the rows above it and figure that out. So this gets our row. So for let row is 0, row is smaller than options length. Increase row. Set this is above row options. So the above row options are options at this new R. Or an easier way to do this, because I'm now, I don't know, in my head I'm trying to think of this and making this reusable. Like, what if something in the middle said to span 2 columns, 2 width, 2 rows? Something like that might overcomplicate it, and I don't want to pretend we have this functionality and then it tries to get used in the future and it doesn't work. I'm going to change this. So instead of you being able to say row, no, we'll keep row span. I'm just going to add the concept of empty to our thing here. So on the hairstyle row, instead of trying to calculate how hairstyle moves over, we're going to make a new type of object that can just be like an empty space. And all it is, like, where did I do preview? Preview is special. Preview is just control type preview. I'm going to say control type placeholder. And this placeholder has a column width of 128. That's all it is. So when we are rendering our option, load appearance option, and we try to figure out the control type, we can just say otherwise if option control type is a placeholder, then we just exit early. There's no reason to do any extra work. None at all. Actually, we shouldn't even do that here. No, because that's still going to make a panel on the header, and we don't even want that. Just way up here. If control type doesn't equal placeholder, then we do the code. Just so that we never even run anything that isn't a placeholder. There's no reason to. So now I'm just formatting, but move all that up one. There. So now, hopefully, I'll basically move everything over and allow there to be the space for the things spanning above it. Let's Very direct and verbose. Really? I totally thought it was gonna work. Okay. Okay, so placeholder. Really? If control type. Interesting. So why did that... Okay, so it's the get panel bounds. Basically didn't even acknowledge that that column existed, which is weird. So weird, I almost feel like if I just save many times, it'll work, and that it was just that the file didn't save. That just seems like it should have worked. Sometimes you don't trust the compiler. Until you're proven wrong. Oh, see, no, it did work. Okay, cool. Okay, so now it moved over and made room for this guy, so we can just double his height, pretty much. Yeah. And these could be full people. There's room. There's room. Like, they have so much room. So yeah, let's now double the preview. So in the case where we have preview, we get the bounds for the width, get the bounds for the top, and we divide it by half. Oh no, it's trying to find the center. Okay, so it tries to find the center. It makes the person. But we get this person. Create preview. If it's not 0, or if it's not null, then I'm going to say take his X scale and make it 2. Take the Y scale and make it 2. So we're basically going to double its X and Y width and height. It's actually .scale.x. X scale. So this is scale.x. Scale.y. Oh yeah. So hopefully this makes a meaningful render of the person now. Yeah, there we go. So that's like a bigger person. We could even lower them. They feel a little too high up. But that's nice. We can actually see them now. We can even make it bigger. Yeah. I'm going to make it 2.2. Yeah. Even a little bigger. And then we're going to say that the Y goes down by 8 pixels. So that'll be a little bigger and then move down. Oh. This character editor is getting somewhere. Open UI. Okay. There we go. That's... I feel like they could even be bigger, but okay, whatever. So we change the person, change their, give him a mustache. The eye coloring, now that he's bigger, I can actually see his eyes are staying green the whole time. Even though down here, all of these guys have their eyes changing. So something about him, he's not acknowledging the eye changes. So let's get on that. So we can get rid of this print line. This .iid. Is that correct? Is it IID or eyes? Let's take a look. Do I ever call it eyes ID? I do. Here I call it eyes ID. Here I call it eyes ID. But then here I call it eye ID. So let's change that. Every time I say eye ID, I mean eyes ID. Bam. Let's check this out. Oh yeah, guys. So one thing I'm actually really excited about is I mentioned briefly that I've like changed my setup here. This curtain, you guys know and love. We're on the other side of the curtain. We've got a whole orientation change. The lighting just feels so much better. There's like more natural light coming in this way. Even though I have the curtains up, I can see the natural light. It's wonderful. Still needs a lot of work, but I'm pretty excited. And I found a lot of old stuff here, like going through everything, tearing it all down. It's like I found my old name tag to an old global game jam. It was pretty exciting. It's like nice. We can actually see your hair now. Oh yeah, you can actually, it doesn't just blend in. Yeah, that's where I kind of went a little too shallow and was like, oh no. And then I spent like an hour trying to make everything smaller to make it match better, but it still looks not what I want. But it's grown in. It's now been a week. It's way better than it was. I can't wait for the new hair. Like, okay, Twitch TV, pasta. So Francisco is streaming, and I didn't get to catch all of it last time, but yes, videos do automatically save for him. Nice. I want to just, the sheen that, oh, some of these, yeah, I just liked that like sheen that was going on. You know, I'm looking at these and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait until it looks like that. Ooh. It's gonna be so exciting. What's interesting is that if I change the hair to bald, this guy's hair doesn't even update. And he is calculated differently. That's why there's been some disparity. Is he, like I've said, he is a take the current person, change the values, like show what he like, render him, and then change him back. That's what he is. Whereas all these heads are like me, build like layering all the individual pictures, being like, okay, let's put eyes and relocate them. So it's just interesting that when I set the hair to bald, his hair doesn't even change. Almost like at some point in the logic, it just rejects it and goes like, that's not real. Ooh, did we lag out there for a second? It just kind of, the streaming tool just went red, saying that I wasn't sending data. Oh, I like those earrings too. I don't know, I made the earrings, but I was like, we need earrings. That looks pretty cool. Okay, so that's all looking good. I think what's next is fixing this confirm button. And I guess I'll show a picture to Jagger of what I have so far. We can totally discuss the layout more. But after changing what I want to have and not displayed, these are the options I think we're going with. Okay, yeah, so let's go and make this confirm button change the data. And hopefully changing the data makes this guy fixed. Like, I'm assuming that we're changing everything to like some null state. That's just totally invalid. So let's go to the, I'm on the server, that's why. Let's go to the client. Let's go to the confirm button. And this is what happens when you press confirm. We make a new action. Oh, that's why it doesn't work. Okay, I see now, guys. So make a new action on appearance state as the entity that's being modified. And it's in our interface dictionary, it's 19.0. And I know 19 is not what it should be. 19 is what it used to be when I first attempted this. Now, 19 refers to the interface when you are doing the drop party. Like when you talk to the chest and it opens up and you can drop loot in. That's what it's trying to invoke this action on. So when your guy looks like he's just a floating chest, it's because I've been messing around with the guy in this whole editor. And then at the very end when you press confirm, instead of saying, okay, now reload for real this time, I am saying, hey, drop party chest, call deposit with all of these totally invalid parameters that are just going to get rejected. And something just blows up internally there. Anyway, my point is that it should be 27. And you might wonder why we skipped from 21 to 27. That's because this enchantment update of Jaggers has claimed interfaces 22 through 26. So he has made 5 different new screens to support that feature, which is why it's taken so damn long. It's literally a fifth of all the screens in the game are going to be part of enchantment. Ooh, okay, let's go back. Where were we? So it's 27, so back to appearance UI. So action 27. Call confirm. And now we need to add way more parameters, but let's just test it. So this should change skin tone, hairstyle, hair color. I'm okay with that. So this means update skin tone, hairstyle, hair color. So let's save. Let's just see if this is even piped through, because it would be really nice if this is. So open UI. So the only things that should work are me changing to, let's do that. So nothing, which isn't promising. I can't even click, it's so nothing. And everything crashed, it's so nothing. But when we relog, did it work? Wow, what happened though? Cannot read actions of undefined. Well, that's kind of useful, but not. Oh, the server is the one that... Oh, yeah, the server crashed. Ooh. What did I do? I killed the server. Cannot read actions of undefined. So where were we? It's from the start. We get a message from the server. We try to read the message. It calls get entity at slot. So it's like, hey, interface 27. Let's figure out what we're referring to when we said 27.0. That digs into the owner and says, hey, my version of that interface. What did we get? So then here, right? That's, yeah, so it says set entity, get entity at slot. And then in here, yeah, so we're in appearance state, get entity at slot, tries to make a new action of adventure def. I think that should be dot appearance state, interface ID. Ooh. On pause. Okay, there we go. Interface ID 0. So interface ID should totally be, yeah, it is 27. So we try to make a new action. It says cannot read property dot actions of undefined. So where's dot actions? Action interface. Ew. Okay, no, this is totally fine, guys. It's complaining that this list of things is not 27 long because I do not have Jaggers. So I'm just gonna make his. Just so that there's something in that list to occupy it. So what did we have? So we had 21, so 22, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did one too many. 7, 23, 24, 25, 26. Let's test it one more time. Sorry, I'm just replying to a text. Open UI. Yeah, maybe that should be body type. That's probably how we want to do it. Okay, anyway, let's go back. Yeah, so we change that. We'll change to this hair, make it black. We change. Okay, what happened? Cannot read shop data of undefined. Appearance UI 284. So it's actually on the client. It's like the server didn't reject it. 284. Oh, it was me saying reload the whole shop. Read shop data of undefined. That might be okay. We'll get back to that. That's not okay, but like, we'll get back to that. So if I reload, do we have the new, like, do we have the new the new look? It didn't. Shoot, I thought that worked. Open UI. So, but it pre-selected the right stuff. Oh, okay. So it pre-selected the right stuff, but it didn't draw the right stuff. So somewhere down the chain, you know, it knows it. It did save. Like, this is the real test. Let's just do it. Refresh the whole page. If it pre-selected the black haircut when we open that style or that dialog, we know that means the server did save this is the hairstyle. But for some reason, the client is like, actually, I want to make it green. Nothing was pre-selected. Really? Oh, I got all excited. Alright. Let's blow it up again, and let's just fix what we can fix here. Cannot read shop data of undefined. So 284. Find out references. So this is where we call it. Current adventure, appearance state, appearance shop ID. I bet you that's just empty, isn't it? Console info, current adventure dot appearance state. All right, but let's go to the client or go to the server because something was off there. So we had the step appearance. Yeah, step change appearance. So we had all of this stuff come through. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Price is $10? There's no price. This is setting a hairstyle. I guess, right. This is being me reusing what used to be a shop and repurposing it. So for now, it's free. But I do have to add that extra logic saying going from this to that is going to cost you. But for now, screw that. It's free. Is that really all that went wrong? Oh, that's amazing if it is. Let's test this. I thought something was like fundamentally wrong. No, there was just some some check saying it cost $10. And I was on Tutorial Island, broke. Let's test it again. Confirm. Oh, cannot read property shop data. Let's reload and see if it saved that. It didn't. Okay, I want to do one more test. Oop, not Guilds of Gods, localhost. Let's get 2 of these going, and I want to see if changing on one sends the message to the other to change. And I guess in the server itself, I can step through this. So let's go to step change appearance, and let's step through and see what we're doing. So log in with the old guy. On this one, we'll make a new user. My whole screen, like both screens just refreshed, and I don't like that. Really? Like not both screens there, I meant like both monitors. Ooh, wait a second. Oh, I see a little visual bug on the stream. I need to, 1 second. Let's crop me a little bit more. Ooh, put that back. Put that back. There we go. Fixed. Okay. Is that just too much? Like I can't log into both at the same time? Like it's weird. Both monitors are flickering when I do that. Like Twitch stream disconnects. Can't tell if this is like something I coded being wrong or this is back to my graphics card might be dying. Ugh. Okay, let's log into one. Okay. Let's log into the other. Okay. So Mustache Man and the Joker. So on Mustache Man, let's change him. So on the one we changed, so nothing happened. That's basically all that did. It didn't even hit my breakpoint. What? Breakpoint set but not yet bound? Okay, turn it off. Let's try one more time. Breakpoint set but not yet bound. What does that mean? I'm trying to set a breakpoint here. Okay. Oh yeah, we are an hour into this Good Friday stream. So probably one more hour and then I'm gonna take off. I'll still be around if anybody wants to message me, but I just, you know, I wanted this stream to not overlap with people's Easter dinner or anything like that. Or I mean, it's not Easter, it's Good Friday, but still. You know, people have holidays. So East Coasters are getting off at 5. I think this is a good time. Okay, so let's go back here. My breakpoint isn't bound. So something's so off about that. Amount of gold. If it's bigger than or equal. And we have an appearance state. Yeah, one second, let me just do one last little thing here because my breakpoints aren't working. Well, first and foremost, I don't even want this gold check. For now, I'll bring this back once we add shops, but for the time being, I'm not trying to support shops. I'm trying to support player customization. So remove item. Nope. We are not removing any gold. So if we have the skin tone is different, we change the skin tone. If the hairstyles change, we change the hair. If the hair colors change, we change the color. Let's try one more time. Actually, and let's just do it. This is a real this is really good background stuff, by the way, and it's interesting to hear the problems and solutions. I'm grinding rune span for this demand yak track lamau. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying this as some background stuff. I like to know that you guys are listening, not just tuning me out. I mean, even though I can ramble for ages, so I don't blame you when you do. And what is okay, I'm sorry, I'm out of date with my RuneScape. What is rune span and what is a yak track? Okay, so let's test this now. We're gonna load up 2 versions of the clients so they can see each other. We're gonna, I think now it'll actually go through. So I think the problem is I had no gold in the inventory and that check was saying, oh, do you have at least this much gold? And I thought setting the price to 0 would fix it, but I think it was checking saying, well, there is like an undefined amount of gold in the inventory, as in, it's not that there's 0 gold, it's not like there's a stack of no coins, there's just literally no stack. So it was getting like, is undefined bigger than or equal to 0, and I think that's where things were getting a little wonky. Alright, so let's test this. So I change the tone, I press confirm. Nothing changed, really. That's so weird. Time to do the really arbitrary console logs. Where if we're changing the skin tone, we do that. If we're changing the hairstyle, we do that. If we change the hair color, we do that. Otherwise, no matter what, log the 3 things we're trying to change. Some message, close interface. RuneSpan has a little mini area for rune crafting and my Twitch there we go. And a mini game in a way. You should probably Google it if you want to know more because it's got a bit to it. I thought RuneSpan was Jagex's way of admitting that rune crafting was garbage. I mean, just as you create unique runes for the game and use them to get more runes. The Yak Track is just a bunch of tasks and goals that you do for rewards when Jagex puts one out. They made one for the archaeology release, 50 total. They get harder as you progress. Interesting. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about that, because the one thing I actually did when I played RuneScape was I runecrafted way too much. I think it was my highest level that was a non-combat skill, and I hit like, I want to say 70 or 80 runecrafting, And I used to just do the colored text wave Carson's custom rune shop before the Grand Exchange was released. And I don't know, runes hold a special place in my heart. So, but it was pretty annoying because nobody else liked it. And I didn't like using them. I just kind of, I liked making stuff. Runespan itself is like a self-contained thing, to be honest, solely for grinding up. You don't get to take the runes out. Well, that just sounds even more useless. So they made a enhanced version of rune crafting and then don't let you do it? What's the point of that? It sure feels like this didn't even do what I wanted it to do. Because it didn't print anything. So did my interface not even... I think I'm onto something here. So I set the entity. I set interface entity to this shop. No, okay, I'm lost again. What? Okay, so you say you want to open this interface, and this is where the code led me, but that's not what I was trying to do. So let me go back through this. So if I go to interfaces, appearance confirm calls change appearance. So this is interface 27, ID 0, bleh. So this is where it should have led. Yet that's not what happened. So what was my client doing again? Let's restart the server. Because maybe I just didn't restart it too. But my client... We're going to try one more time. We're going to get rid of this extra client for now. Mini games, man, I don't get them, but it's kind of fun. You don't have to run back and forth from altars and banks, but I'd also argue normal rune crafting is faster since you can't multi-craft and convert your whole inventory of essence rather than doing what RuneSpan does, or since you can multi-craft. Okay, interesting. Good to know. Confirm. Alright, let's just go back to this. So if we go, something's off here. So we go back to the client. We go to Appearance UI. We go to confirm. So we make a new action, ID 27.0, pass null as the action definition, and then we pass in our parameter map. And then we say pixie.js draw menu. I actually don't know what that one's doing. Draw menu. What? Option menu build. Use actions. Option menu build. Global menu set actions. This might be where I need to just redo it, because this whole feature was like a third done already. So I've been kind of trying to, it's almost like I had a path in a forest I made, and then it wasn't all the way through the forest, and it's partially grown in. And I might have reached the end of that path where I ran into a roadblock I never got past, and I'm trying to I'm treating it like it's just ingrown and I need to, clear the path. But maybe this is the point where I need to pivot and just do it my own way, because something seems off here. It's so weird to me that I'm making an action in an interface. Like, we've never done this before. I don't think so. Does the client ever say new action? I don't think so, because it's not secure, is it? Oh, I guess you do when the server validates it. But let's see what we do here. So we're in interface. Oh, that's cheating. That's an interface. Spell definition. Sure. This actions push. Okay. This actions at this slot push. I'm back and I played your game in the meantime. Welcome, welcome, Bluepin Studio. Okay. Glad to hear you checked it out. So it does look like we knew actions on the client, so that in itself isn't necessarily wrong. But something is off here. I can feel it. This is definitely where I left it a year ago and just never finished it. And I don't think it was working at the time. Oh, but here we take a menu. Draw menu. Oh, no, never mind. Draw menu, pass in the actions. So we do that. In a screen. Yeah, okay, so what I'm doing isn't that outrageous. Draw menu, pass in the action. How's your Easter weekend looking, Bluepin? Maybe this isn't an issue. Maybe it's that I don't have the placeholders on the client like I do on the server. So let's make those in line just in case that's it. Because they should exist. They're gonna exist in the future anyway. Okay, open UI, pick a tone, press confirm. Server didn't hit it. Okay, so what do we know? We know that whatever the issue is, it's not even reaching my appearance change interface. Or, yeah, step change appearance. This code isn't even running. So, on the server, it is not making it through our validation system that I am trying to, do this, perform this action. The server is at some point down the line rejecting it, which is, we have a lot of security measures in that you have to do stuff a specific way, because we don't want people on the client just newing up actions and being able to send it across the wire. The server has to believe that this is a genuine case. You have to be in that interface, you have to have selected valid values, you have to have told the server that you're clicking the confirm button, and it'll look at what you had, what you're trying to set it to, and it's supposed to validate that this is even okay. And it's not reaching the code that does the changing. So we know that either I'm never sending out the message, or the server is rejecting it down the line. So let's first tackle whether it is sending out the message or not. Where I would do that, I suppose, would be by going to the interface. So Yeah, go into the interface UI, where I say confirm. I don't like this draw menu thing. But let's go into action. Let's just see what I have to do here. So we're passing in this appearance state. ID 270 is what we're trying to reference. We don't have an action definition to pass in. Maybe we should. And we have parameter maps which are totally valid. So we get in here. And we don't have an action definition, which is set to 0, so this should be okay. Oh, let's check the client's console log. There might be something good there. Oh, there. Oh, no, that was already. That's separate. I think. Actually, let's see. Maybe not. So let's reload, try it again, and then the second, when you reload and try again, that bundle.js, the second time on development, should turn into lines of code, so we should be able to figure out where exactly that complaint was. So change the tone again, press confirm. There we go. Got our lines of code here. So on reload adventure shop data of undefined. But that's not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is what we are doing. So we are reading a packet that led to this. That means the server is telling the client the shop has changed. Why is that? So we press confirm, and we try to close the interfaces after, and the server says to us, oh, you're at this shop, which doesn't exist. So I think it is sending my message, because you press the button and you get a response back that we don't know how to handle. But I think it means I'm sending a different message than I think I'm sending. I might even be sending the, maybe I'm sending the open shop message instead of the change appearance message, which doesn't make sense. It's not what I'm doing, but I'm humoring myself here. What do we do here? So we get here. Let's try it again here. Changes to this file were not saved to the system. It's okay. So it's trying to open shop 5. That definitely doesn't exist. I only have like 0 and 1, but why are we trying to open shop 5? Is it this close interface? Let me go back to these interfaces. So 27, ID 0, brings me to confirm, brings me to change appearance on the server. Would bring me to here, which brings me to step open appearance interface. Oh, that is totally what I'm doing, and the 5 refers to skin tone 5. Oh, that is okay. I forgive myself. Okay, so it's actually step change appearance and step open appearance interface. There we go. Is there like a style? Yeah, so change appearance would be, here we go. Let's change this. So it is open change appearance. There we go. We figured it out. think. Okay, so ID, open, change appearance. That makes so much more sense. So this thing has one parameter instead of 3. Which is shop ID. I think this is in the shared code, isn't it? Typed F, yeah. Okay, so I just have to code this once, not twice. Nice. So open, change appearance. Let's go to change appearance. Let's duplicate this and make open change appearance. So change appearance does not go to step open appearance. It goes to step change appearance. Oops. Step open appearance, step change. Okay, where do we? Here we go. Sure, let's just put at the bottom of the list, I guess. Const step change appearance means we have to require internal that bam. Right. So what did we do? We added placeholders. We added this change appearance. We added that. Yep, I think this is exactly what we want. So let's commit both of those. Then we'll say step change appearance added. So silly. Push that. Oh, remote has changes you don't. Guess I gotta pull first. And then push. Once this saves data and we can actually see it between two people, we'll be further than I've ever been when I tried this. And that is fantastic. I can feel it. We're almost there. Okay, so type def. I made some type def changes too. So on model, interface, but that's one server just made. So let's reject this. Appearance, yep. Getter, yep. Ooh, you sure you want to discard changes? No, opposite. I want to save. Okay, so this is now I support. It's more than that, but so we'll have this guy pull so it can get the changes from the server. Now that it's done, we'll have it push. Nice. Now let's go back to the server and pull in these new changes. Nice. Oops. Alright, refresh. Let's check this out. I guess I should confirm the merge just worked. So let's add, let's go to step here. Go to step, change appearance. Yep, okay, did merge. Let's test this out. Open UI. Bam, bam. Still disappeared, but doesn't mean it didn't work as long as the server printed. Oh, yes, we have something on the server. What? Has line of sight is broken. Damn, this looks like a nightmare. I would hate making an MMORPG. There's definitely some issues with making an MMORPG. Just from like, you have to be really cautious with how you build the game engine so that it supports, you know, all the security because you don't want people to cheat. But that verbosity that you get by trying to make that really can make things hard when you try to add new features. But it's worth it. It's been good. Okay, so has line of sight is undefined. What are you even talking about? What? That's not what I was calling. Is that, did I break that, or is this just a bug that I just found? I must have broke it. Like there's, I've never, it has to be something I just did. So what is it? So this is interface 0, action 6, step 0. So interface 0, action 6. So if I go to interfaces, this means it was a map attack. So a check for the action. So this is 1, 2, oh, but it's in walk in attack. So this is a list. So the 6th item in this list, which I can't even see now, but whatever. Let's go back to it. Basically, there's an attack has line of sight, and within that has line of sight was undefined. So let's go to step and try to see. Is there a has, wait, line of sight? Oh no, this is, sorry, the type def step. Has line of sight. So has line of sight of undefined. So try to, so the step type class dictionary was undefined, which it shouldn't be. There's no reason it should be. This game functions a lot like RuneScape. Is that because you're a fan of RuneScape? Myself and the dev Jagger who started the project, both of us used to play RuneScape, and he was a big fan of it when we were at school together. So when we both always wanted to make an MMORPG, but he worked on the game, like we planned the game together, and then the first year of it, I was like all working on a different project while he started this. So the roots of it are very much what he, like based on the game he wanted to play, and that was a very, like a unique take on RuneScape. Really, he he wanted to make a RuneScape, like an MMORPG that's an older style MMO, where you could play multiple adventurers. There were idle mechanics, so you could leave your account you could leave your account logged in while you do other stuff. Built-in botting that doesn't get you banned, so you can just kind of bot while you do other stuff. That's kind of the original idea. It's actually, the original idea was a larger scope than that, but when I cut out the stuff that we got rid of from scope creep, that's kind of the core base that we went off of. What's the unique take aspect of it? Okay, so the unique take aspect is, one, we wanted you to be a party, not a single individual. So right now that just looks like, oh, you can have up to 5 people. But our end goal of that is we want you to have to multi-adventure when you do mini games. You know, we want to make a dungeon type experience that you can do where you take your, like, you might take your party of 3 people at that point in, and you have your one guy who's a really good fighter, one guy's a really good miner, and you go into the caves, and in this mini game there's no tools or anything, and you have to like build everything together and kind of strategically use your different guys, however you chose to level them separately. And that's the kind of experience we originally wanted. On top of, because there's multiple people, we wanted you to be able to set them up so that they can just AFK level while you go to school, go to work, whatever you're doing. But we wanted to avoid how RuneScape does a lot of things. Like, we wanted to completely change how magic worked and rune crafting worked. We like melee, we like archery. That world, we wanted to do totally differently. So we're in this huge enchantment update that he's working on separately that is in the process that'll kind of redo how a lot of that is. Yeah, that's... Yeah, like an RTS. We wanted the game to play like an RTS. I guess let me just go back. His favorite games was RuneScape and like Age of Empire. Like, I was a Stronghold Crusaders guy, and I played a bit of StarCraft. He was an Age of Empire guy. So we both kind of really bonded early on about me liking Stronghold Legends and Stronghold Crusader and all that RTS, and him liking it's one of its main competitors. But what we liked from both of those, we kind of wanted to try to pull into like a multi-character RuneScape experience. Yeah, as Red said, multiple people as in multiple characters. So I'll show you what I mean, okay? Let's go to the game live, and I'll log into my account. Let's just show you what mine looks like. Not my dev account, my personal account. Okay, so on my personal account, I don't have these guys AFK going, but right now I personally have 3 different adventurers on it. Guys 2 and 3, I primarily do combat when I'm training them, and I usually have them by the goblin areas, just kind of AFK idling that. And my first guy doesn't have any combat stats. He's the guy I would woodcut with, I would mine with, I would smith with. He would do that stuff. So the idea is that when you would do similar to dungeoneering, you'd bring in as many people as you'd want to take off of their AFK tasks, and each person could be a specialist. So you could basically have like 2 guys holding off aggressive mobs while you have your 3rd guy trying to mine the resources to build the armor to give your combat guys to upgrade them to push through that wave to get to the end to go through. So far it sounds like it could easily be a single player. How does it being multiplayer enrich that? Multiplayer as in online, or multiplayer as in multi-adventure? The online side is like, we have a mini game, the Obelisk, and everybody can join it. It's kind of like I guess pest control in RuneScape. It's not exactly at all, but the same idea that multiple people can join in on the same mini game. So it's like a communal wave-based, like a communal wave-based minigame. And in that one, being multiplayer is really helpful there. It has the same, it's multiplayer because, you know, it's that MMORPG aspect. Why make it multi-adventurer? As I said, the game is still early on. Or not early on, but it's still in alpha. The multi-adventurer thing will also, like, a lot of our other skills that we want to add kind of adds into that. Like the way we've talked about doing player houses and stuff, you know, having certain characters that you want to set as guards for your house while you're like offline in case people try to raid your house while you're away. Stuff like that. We wanted the game to be very multi-adventure, and for the time being we have capped it at 5, but we have talked about getting rid of the cap and even extending it to the point where you know, you could potentially, maybe We haven't talked about adding a bard, but potentially going full bard, seducing a goblin and having that goblin join your party. And now they're a physical NPC with their own stats that joins your party that's a usable character. You know, we wanted the idea of you having a party that can expand. Also, I haven't even mentioned guilds, but guilds were a huge part of the game in that when you first pick or customize your character, you're going to pick what guild you want to belong in, and you start off on that part of the map for that adventure. So you basically have your own little party of people who each belong to whatever guild you want to start them out in that is with other players and works with other players. So it's kind of like you're in a guild and your own little clan simultaneously to do different things, some of which might be just for your account, others might be a bigger community experience. This sounds really cool and could easily be single player. I'm just wondering why go the extra effort to make it an MMO. Okay, really it's because we like MMOs. We've liked the idea of playing with friends. I really like the idea of just being able to trade other players and, you know, play with them and do stuff. But I do hear you. It could be a single player experience, and we have, like, when we talk about our longer term plans of it, single player ports are totally possible with the engine we've made, and it's something we do intend on making. You know, like, being able to make a single player offline version of it is an idea. Same with, there's a platform Air Console that Jagger and I are both really big fans of, and we really like to play games on it. And when you're on Air Console, basically your phone, the screen is the communal screen between everybody, and your phone becomes a controller. But the phone's capabilities in the app it's basically a web browser. So we've also talked about just wanting to port it to Air Console so that it's an offline experience limited to the friend group in person that is playing on their phones, but each character is on their phone, and the communal camera is what's on the screen. So everyone's basically playing this like offline experience that way. And maybe that would be online too, but I don't know, we kind of liked the idea of it being online and offline, and yeah, online was great. I guess to add, okay, Bluepin, really, okay, if you're a developer too, so I guess I'll go the full detail. Part of why it's online was when I said Jagger and I designed this project, we went separately for a year, and then I rejoined after a year. During that year, and I said that we had other things, that scope creep we cut out. I was really simplifying a huge part of the story. The game was supposed to be built on blockchain and powered by my own decentralized server. So github.com/carsonroscoe/seed. This was my project, which was a decentralized networking system that was inspired by the cryptocurrency IOTA. There's no currency involved. It was using an inspired take on that to power video games. So as long as a handful of users were online, the system could never be taken down. I wrote articles about all of this as I went through, and this is what I spent the year trying to do. And as much as the project finished, this was my thesis project for my degree, I should add. That was supposed to just click with Jaggers at the end. As much as when this was all done, it worked, there was some security flaws and constraints it added that we decided weren't really worth it, and it wasn't perfect. There was some fears with it. So we ended up just deciding to do the traditional MMO route and drop this whole project. And to flip it, because this was a thesis project for us to graduate, Jagger's thesis was on a custom WebGL engine where he wrote all the shaders and stuff. So the first year of development, this whole thing was written ground up from scratch, Jagger writing the shader code that would run on the graphics card to do the rendering, except on the web, instead of a custom game engine that's in C++ or something. So once we came together and kind of could cut the school constraints off, we switched to a rendering library called Pixie.js. But other than that, it's still his game engine he wrote that year, but now another year and a couple months development on top of it. So that is why it is online, to give you that whole grassroots background. The original goal was what you see, except you weren't primarily on the map that is called Eloria. Everybody in this cryptocurrency or in this blockchain space had their own house that was off of the main map. And when you were playing, all the houses were arranged as properties that were organized based on your total rank between all your combined levels of all your characters. And you were basically allowed to like go full aggressive on people. And because it played and would compute while you were offline, everybody, you would give like a list of instructions to your characters. So I'd make my aggressive guy say, okay, or my knight, I'd be like, you patrol this entrance to the house, and be aggressive and attack people. And you just kind of set up your AIs on your people when you're not playing, and then you'd leave, and like the blockchain would just kind of compute it while you're away. So yeah, that's the full background and why it's online. But yeah, now we've just been trying to roll with the game, getting rid of the constraints that we don't need, totally redoing things, I like how you said, oh boy, when I said blockchain. But yeah, github.com/carsonroscoe.seed if you want to take a look at what that whole thing I tried to do was. I think I understand each individual concept on its own, but I think the concept as a whole is going over my head. Totally okay. I usually don't just throw it out there, and I try to just shorten the story. But you're a studio, so I figured I'd say a bit more. Yeah, that's basically the history of why it is. But you're right, the game as it is today could be a offline game and does not need to be online. That being said, I don't see why it shouldn't be online, other than it adds more work to more work on our plates. But at this point, the online part's what works. So it is quite literally the opposite of what I've got going on, making a 2D single player RPG. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like single player RPGs. I don't know exactly what you're going for, but I think that is a lot easier, especially for your first game. It is like, there's a lot, as you said, there's a lot of extra stuff when you're doing an MMO that you don't really need to do. So if you can go offline, go for it. If it doesn't need to be online, yeah. As Sandwich just said, though, I couldn't imagine grinding this much in a single player game. The players that we have, Bluepin, man, I want to show you the scoreboard here because it's a little silly. In a way, a good chunk of things we make is because I just wanted to make something I liked. That's a big part of it, Red. Like in hindsight, we could totally do things differently, but Jagger and I wanted to make an MMO. Like we've talked about that the entire time we were like roommates at school and stuff, and I think like literally since semester 1 of our degrees, we like when we first became friends, he would have RuneScape up during every lecture, and he'd just be playing it the whole time. And at that point, I stopped playing it around 2009. So it was to me it was nostalgic just watching him grind RuneScape during class. But yeah, if you take a look here, this is like the total amount of XP and levels people have achieved. So like Deliverance in this chat right now, Bluepin, has reached 10,604 levels between his 4 guys. I think that's how that works. Or either that or it's like, is that above our max level? I don't think so. But that's so much. Same with like Bool is up there, Nox is up there. Red, who's also in this chat, Red 500 is ranked 13th. Jagger, the other developer, is ranked 14th. He definitely plays more than me. What am I? I'm ranked 41st. The old max was 10,500. Now it's technically 11,000. Good to know. Why did you stop playing, Carson? Says Baby Shark. I stopped playing because I got obsessed with League of Legends instead. RuneScape in 2007 had a few different updates that were controversial. I didn't mind them for the first year, but I just kind of stopped playing. I lost interest. My friends stopped playing. And then I got into League of Legends, and I put a few thousand hours into that game, and that became my life for a while. When I met Jagger and I no longer played, I was like coaching League of Legends as my part-time job in first year. Yeah, I guess making a multiplayer legitimizes grinding. Otherwise, if it was single player, it would be less interesting. Yeah, I think that's part of it. If you want people to be playing for years, MMO is one of the best ways to do it. Single player games are more like you're playing through a run of the story. Like I have in my like story is important, and our MMO, like our quests need to, like, we need to finalize our storyline a bit better and start pumping those out. But I think story is like extra important in offline games. I don't know, I feel like it's extra important in offline games, and once you've kind of played it through, like the grind can get boring unless there's like a story or some end thing that you're working towards or want to know more about. My own little story is just that I played an open beta before rank came around, and it was amazing because everyone sucked. There was no toxicity because everyone was trash and didn't know what they were doing. My buddy Curtis has that exact same mindset. We didn't play in beta, but we played early season 1. I ended season 1 like 1,000 elo, which is like below what bronze was at the time. And it was like I was just so bad, and me and him and our other friend, Nicholas TM, who was in this Twitch at the start of the stream, the three of us just played and didn't care what we did. Everyone, as you said, everyone sucked. It wasn't stressful. I tried being more competitive though, season 2, 3, and 4, and then I didn't really play after season 4. I think they're at season 10 or 11 now. But the other two, they kind of stopped around season 3 because they just felt like it was getting way too competitive. They felt like they couldn't even play a normal game without people getting angry if they tried to do something that wasn't meta, and I agree with that. I definitely feel like that community is very negative compared to a lot of others. You know, it's either praising how good someone is or trash talking how bad they are. There's no just acceptance that's like, oh, he's just having fun. What a goofy guy. Alright, let's get back to this. Oh yeah, right. Why is it not working? That's where I was. Oh god, I'm going to go back to the server and see these errors that I have no clue about this line of sight bug. Okay, I'm just going to try it again. I'm going to assume that this was a one-off thing I need to talk to Jagger about, and let's try it one more time. Can I recreate it? I missed a bunch. It's almost over now. Yeah, I'll be ending the stream in like 20 minutes, I think, Bool. We kind of got into a big talk about MMOs and video games and now League of Legends. When every game is centered around having to be the fucking best and no other option, it can be draining as fuck. Yeah, it definitely can be. Yeah, okay, so this is a consistent issue. What did I do? Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Like, when you try to... The game is too focused around being the best, but there's no other thing to do. You know, it's not like an RPG where you don't have to be the best at combat. You could just have fun fishing, you know, and in Guilds of Gods or Stardew or something, you can just do something because it's fun. In League of Legends, there's nothing but winning. Like, you know, you could make the most money in the game, and then the game ends, and it didn't matter, because it's just like a short session. Winning is all that matters, and it definitely gets draining after a while. Yeah, the torso is pretty hilarious. I don't know what's going on there. Well, you don't even play anything besides God? Well, that's because you're a trooper and we love you. You're playing Stardew right now, Baby Shark? Yeah, I love Stardew. It's good. I hope you're enjoying Stardew. Stardew is fun. I just got over it. Okay. Yeah, it's really fun. It is so fun lately. It's probably the one thing that I don't want to say takes time from Guilds of Gods, because it's not like I play a lot of Stardew, but a couple hours a week we play Stardew before bed, and it's pretty nice. You know, it's definitely a nice little, a peaceful couple hours. But you can get sucked into it and stay up an hour later than you meant, and you're like, damn it. I got out of it for a while, but I've rekindled my love of virtual farming. So poetic. I used too much mod and speeded my way through too fast. It's just hitting me. Is Stardew a moddable game? I've never tried. Is there some good mods? Yeah. Oh god. What do you recommend? I totally forgot that you could mod games. I don't really play offline games much. Yes, yes. Oh. There's so much to that game. Every time we play it, we like find something new about it we didn't know. You got friends who mod the characters to be furries. Okay. Might as well play Animal Crossing. Too many mods. Alright, I'm getting curious here. Stardew Valley mods. Snappy. I don't want that. I just want examples. Mod replacement. Your girlfriend's playing Animal Crossing? Nice. Oh, it was Nexus? Oh, that... Okay, I see. Stardew Valley Nexus. Okay. For some reason, I thought Nexus was like... I thought that was a wiki link, so I was like, okay, skip the wiki. Dragons. Ride dragons. Animated fish. Real weather. Spoothy gothic furniture. Interesting. I will look into this more later. That's pretty cool. I did not realize it was a moddable game. You learn something new. Nexus is mod central for so many games. Okay, good to know. I have not modded a game since I tried to make my own Minecraft armor in like 2014. So it's been a while. Fuck is mod pack Philip? I don't know. I saw Bulbasaur on it though, so I was pretty interested. Bulbasaur is my favorite. Okay, one second. I actually have to try to figure this out though before the stream ends. So can't read this of undefined, meaning that this is undefined, which cannot read that of undefined. So it knows this gets you the ID. So this is being set to undefined. So I think that means that there's a different air blowing up. Okay, let's do... I think this is just unfortunate. That's just the next action that tries to execute crashes. I think that's all that's happening. It's not that I broke line of sight. It's just that line of sight is called every time something walks, and moving is the next thing that happened after I broke steps. So let's go back to my confirm button and take a look at what could possibly be it. So we do this, go into the action we made. Action not found. It did not print that, so we're not running into that issue. This isn't null. We set this. There's a local false, set flags. I'm going to take a guess and say it's that we added this new change appearance and something is still a little off here. So it's like something probably used to call one that's now supposed to be calling the other. Like where do we say? So die calls change appearance, change appearance, change appearance. Interface, change appearance. Okay. Step. Those seem okay. That's what happens when you try to open it. Step open. So this is on the server. Step open appearance interface. Open. It's making it look like this whole method wasn't even being called, which seems wrong. Okay, let's see if anything's different now. Oh, everything had to force reload there. Anyway, we did make some progress today. It was for 2 hours. It wasn't bad. We had a good chat along the way. Sad I didn't get this confirm button working, but hopefully this is the kind of thing that Jag can just point out. Other than that, it's nice to know that data is saving. Like, this guy is randomized on start, so we know the data storage is working by the fact that we even have our Joker. So we added data storage, which seemed to work. We've got these lined up better. It's good. It's good. It was a good 2 hours. So why, though, when I press this button does not work? Whatever. An Easter weekend dilemma. That'll get solved. So if I go to step open appearance, I'm just going to try one thing first. Step change appearance. None of this is printing, so we still are not sending to the right thing. Right? I think so. So that means our client, when it tries to send this, is not sending the right thing. Whatever. I'm sure this is the kind of thing Jag would be useful to help me out with, since it's literally all isolated to this one confirm method. So, I think we're good to go here. Yeah. Alright, well, thank you all for joining me on this Good Friday before Easter long weekend. I hope everybody... Oh, is he out of isolation? I believe he is. So, last I checked with Jagger, he has went from Saturna Island to his family's place, and I believe he's spending the weekend at his, with his parents and his sister. So he's gonna have his Easter weekend and do that shiz. And, yeah. I'm trying to remember, was he doing any traveling today? I think he said he was traveling at some point during the day. He was going to try to make the stream, but he wasn't sure, because the ferry schedules have gotten really wonky with this whole damn virus. So, anyway, I'll shame him for not joining us. Yeah, thank you, and happy Easter. Thank you for the stream, and I want to thank you all for working on the new update. It's looking amazing. Thank you, Bool. Really appreciate that. I will see you all Sunday. I'll let you know I'll let you know in Discord what the modified schedule will be. Maybe it won't be too modified, but I don't know. I have my own Easter plans, so I might start it a couple hours early and end it a couple hours early. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for coming, Red. Thanks for coming, Baby Shark. And I'll see y'all Sunday.